But well, speaking of stocks, let's take a look at the handover then coming in from Wall Street. And it looks like a strong handover after a very bad one. Even AI darling Nvidia is back.
Absolutely, it's been a pattern that we've seen, one day of bad market moves coming in globally as well as back home, and then you have an immediate recovery following the next day. If I'm not wrong, this is the second or the third time this has happened in very recent times. Let's talk about what the US market did yesterday. However, the stock futures were near flatline on Tuesday evening as investors turned towards the first Federal Reserve interest rate decision of 2025. But if you take a look at what the regular trading session looked like yesterday, tech stocks led the S&P 500 higher and bought the Nasdaq to a 2% gain. Remember, just day before yesterday, Nasdaq was beaten down, and this is on the back of the DeepSeek news that we have been seeing. The two indices made a comeback after incurring sharp losses on Monday in a sell-off spurred by the emergence of China's DeepSeek and the threat it poses to artificial intelligence trade. Now, Nvidia, which suffered a roughly 17% decline on Monday, jumped nearly 9% on Tuesday. The Fed's interest rate decision tonight is now a focal point for investors. For us, it's going to be coming out tonight, as well as Fed Chair Jerome Powell's comments in the press conference. Fed Fund futures data reflect a nearly 100% certainty that the central banks will keep rates steady at a target range of 4.25 to 4.5%. This is, of course, according to the CME Group data. Investors will also be paying close attention to Powell's comments, his first press conference in President Donald Trump's second term. It's going to be an interesting one to watch out for. The two have had a contentious relationship dating back to Trump's first term, and the president has already said that he would demand that interest rates drop immediately. So that's going to be some important point of action to watch out for in today's press conference. Of course, for us, it's going to be later in the night tonight. Powell's comments and what they do with the rate decision, the FOMC's outcome, is going to be very crucial to watch for. While we're talking about that, let's talk about what the bonds are up to, because treasury yields were up and now they seem to have cooled off very nominally. 4.522% is where the US 10-year bond yield is at right now. So largely that is what the that's what the US market has been doing, and that's what the Wall Street was up to yesterday.
Well, absolutely, Sneha, and it's going to be a very important outcome there because it's been quite the bone of contention. We've heard a lot of commentary coming in from US President Donald Trump. But on that note, let's move on, take a look at oil prices, because oil prices settled up on Tuesday, bouncing back from those multi-week high lows, in fact, that we've seen coming in for oil markets after the White House, in fact, said that US President Donald Trump's plans to use tariffs on Canadian and Mexican imports this week still holds. So you do have fears of weaker demand at this point linked to soft economic data coming in from China, rising temperatures elsewhere that also cap the gains. But largely when you take a look at the moves coming in for Brent, 41-cent uptick is what you're looking at for Brent. 0.5% uptick there, $77 per barrel is the kind of level that you're looking at. And even for US WTI, 0.8% uptick coming in, $73 a barrel is where US WTI was also at. Now, of course, you do have a lot of commentary coming in terms of Trump's tariff threats. That is something that is going to remain in focus. Canada and Mexico particularly are what he's talked about in terms of tariffs, and also China. So that is going to be something to watch out for as far as oil markets are concerned. But you also have another important factor, that is Libya. Local protesters did prevent crude oil loadings, and that is on Tuesday. That was at two of the key ports, major ports coming in. Hundreds of thousands of barrels per day of supply is at risk when it comes to Libya. So that is going to be the one to watch out for in terms of supply disruptions then. And moving on then, when we take a look at gold prices as well, quite a rebound you're seeing there as well from a dip in the previous session as well. So largely, when you take a look at spot gold, then 0.8% higher as well. Spot gold was also at Sneha.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.